Hello and welcome to our STEM quarterly showcase. We have a really exciting episode upcoming for you here. I'm Marnie Landry from Grand Canyon University and Canyon Professional Development. And today we are highlighting the Willcox Theater and Arts, well, I guess Center? Is that the correct word for it? They do have a website which kind of highlights what they have to offer, but we don't think it quite gives you all the detail that you need. So we're going to have some live coverage, so you'll find out exactly what they have for you as teachers and your students. And we do have some other guest speakers who are going to kind of help us and also have experience with this. And I'm going to also have Cal Manis, who is familiar with the Willcox Theater and Arts, also kind of help co-host and Gail as we move through this. So let me go ahead and stop sharing, and I'm going to highlight Gail, so she should show up on everyone's screen nice and large. There we go. All right, can everyone see Gail in the Willcox Theater? All right, hi Gail. And we have Ren on the camera doing camera work. So Gail, where are you right now?
We're outside in what's called Railroad Park here in Willcox, and behind me are the three buildings that make up Willcox Theater and Arts. On your right is the actual theater. It's a 1937 movie theater, and next to it is what we call Studio 128, which is where we have our STEAM programs, and a little ways down from that is our Palace of Art and Theater, where we do many live things. So we'll get a chance to visit each of those briefly today, but we'll spend most of the time in Studio 128. For those of you not familiar with Willcox, we're in the southeastern part of the state. Willcox is a rural town with about 3,500 people. It's a ranching and agricultural community, and now the center of Arizona's wine industry, agricultural wine industry as well. You may be wondering why, for a STEM program, you're talking to someone from Willcox Theater and Arts. But we have a very active STEM program. We tuck the A in there for arts and call it STEAM. But let's go across and take a look at what we do.
Great.
Railroad Park and Railroad Avenue are right next to the railroad tracks. This town was founded when the railroad came through in 1880. And it's a very active railroad track now. As a matter of fact, when the trains go by, you can't hear. So let's go in, because it's cold out here. This building was built in 1909. This is the historic district of Willcox. And for many years, started out as a saloon, a genuine Old West saloon. There was a man shot and killed in this building when it was a saloon. Nothing recent. So inside, it is warm and not windy. And I'll kind of ask Ren to take this off of me and just do a little panorama around the room as I talk. We have a lot of, we call ourselves the tech, engineering, and arts part of STEAM. The science part is very ably handled by our school system here, and that's not our strength, but tech and engineering are. And so we have a lot of resources that kids can use in our after-school programs to try out various different kinds of things. Over here, we have one of our 3D printers, which looks like it's finishing up an Eiffel Tower. All of these pieces of equipment are available for the kids to use after they are trained in how to do it. They develop the programs, they put the filaments in, they do the whole thing. If things go wrong, we have a little tool set here to take care of the standard problems that arise. That is one thing about 3D printers. while they do wonderful things, they are somewhat temperamental. So it takes a little tech touch to keep them going. Over here, you can see we have a setup with computer stations, and we use a lot of free programs. What this one is, I don't know how well you can see it on the screen, but Taylor's looking at ideas on what's called the Thingiverse. This is a free program where people who have designed things for 3D printing have them available. You can download the files that allow you to print them. One of the popular things for kids to do is tends to be monsters, ranging from Godzilla to assorted dinosaurs, and then you modify them to improve their monsterness and 3D print them. So that's kind of a thing that allows people to get started doing fun things with 3D printing without having to start from scratch designing their own thing. However, if they are interested in that and get going on that, there's another free program called Tinkercad. This is a cloud-based program. It's a 3D sort of thing, and you can literally design stuff in 3D. This is a pretty simple little house here. You can put doors on it. You can design gears. You can design all kinds of things. It really is a very powerful program, but it's also simple for doing straightforward things. So it's something that allows people, I say kids a lot because that tends to be the main users, but our facility here, what we call our Makerspace, is available. We have open hours on a weekly basis for anybody of any age. So you can build fun things, you can build practical things. We had one girl, I think she started from something on the Thingiverse and then modified a sort of tiara for her Halloween costume last Halloween. So it's just limited by ideas and imagination, which means it's really not limited much at all. So you can see our house is becoming more house-like as we go. And honestly, the kids pick this up and are able to work with it fairly easily. And we also have another free program that we use a lot. Taylor's going to scoot over to the next one. And this is a painting program. It's called Krita, and that's with a K, isn't it, Taylor?
Yes.
Krita, Krita. It's another free program that allows painting. So you can, change brush strokes, colors, all kinds of things. Each of these computers is equipped with a tablet, a Wacom, however it's pronounced, tablet and pencil, so you can draw and change brush strokes, change all kinds of things. And there we go. So it's another area of creativity that the kids have to use here. In addition to the open time and these resources that we have available, we also have projects. Okay, so you can, it takes talent and creativity, of which I have none, but other people do. We also have regular projects that we do with the kids. And these are some examples.
And we're losing Gail's sound.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
I sound like that ad. Can you hear me now? We have a video game where the console was made out of cardboard, and the various buttons and whatnot were 3D printed, and the joystick controller, and then the video game itself is driven by a CPX, a Circuit Playground Express single board computer that can be programmed in Python, also available for free online. This one says it's a super secret safe. I really don't know what this one is. This was one of our little robots, and this is a weapon for the robot wars. And we also do, this, by the way, is the Circuit Playground Express right here, single board computer. We also do projects that are not digital at all. This is little catapult that we built during, the kids built during the summer program that we run for STEAM. We also in the summer have a rocket training program. One of our volunteers is a retired aerospace engineer, and the kids build the rockets and then set them off over at a nearby park, not railroad park, because we don't want to get the trains, but a farther away park. What else can I tell you? We have.
Yeah, let me ask a question. You just said the summer programs. Just give us a little bit of information teachers might want about the summer program. Can they sign up, or do kids sign up?
Yeah, these are for kids. We have a special rocketry program, and then we have a more generic STEAM program that covers a lot of different things. Last summer's STEAM summer program, the science, we had a clever idea. STEAM has 5 letters. It was a 5-day program. So this was first for science. We had a program from the U of A tree ring dendrochronology lab on how to do that and how to graph and compare the different tree rings from different sources. Technology and engineering, we switched, and that was our catapult. The art was the various designs they put on it. Math was the last day, and we did the catapult with the trying different kinds of missiles and different windings on the strength of the catapult arm and so forth. But we found that don't tell kids it's going to be a math day because they don't want to come. The only way we got them to come was to hold their catapults hostage Thursday night, so they had to come Friday to do the math day to get their catapults back. So that's what we did last year. These programs are open to kids 10 years and older. Same for the rocketry program. We're looking perhaps this summer to do a second rocketry program with larger rockets and go out to what's called the Dry Lake, which is about 20 miles away. And it's one of Boeing's alternate landing sites for their Starliner. So there's a lot of empty space out there.
Oh, we lost sound again.
These programs to kids at essentially no cost. They sign up for one fee of, I think it's $15 at the school, and then they can attend any of our programs or other sports and programs of that nature that the school has. So it's a great opportunity, and it's something that we love offering to the kids. I'm not sure who has more fun, we or the kids. This is where we keep all of our computer equipment and stuff. I mean, we have alligator clips, jumper wires, servos, motors, CPXs. We just have all of the stuff that's needed to make any kind of a project. One of the things we focus on that's a little bit different than I think teachers are able to do in schools is letting kids follow what interests them. Once a month, we have a standard project that everybody can come play with, but otherwise we help them to follow what interests them. We have people here who could do the tech, who can do the math, who can do the engineering, who can help them learn how to do Tinkercad and so forth. So it really gives them the opportunity to say, I want to make a tiara for my Halloween costume, and do that. So it's really kind of cool. We also have some other equipment.
Gail, as we're transitioning to the new equipment too, we heard a lot of stuff about programs for kids, but there's a question in the chat. Do you have workshops for adults or teens?
Teens, absolutely. I guess I call anybody under 20 a kid. So yes, teens, absolutely. We
No, I
also
meant
have
adult teams, TEAM.
okay. For we have not done a lot. We have done some things for adults. We are definitely open to doing that. And we think we have a model that works pretty well. So I'd be more than happy to discuss opportunities, but we don't have anything in place at this point.
Great, thank you.
This is another 3D printer that's making a board frog, it says. Something about what you can do with 3D printers. I'm pretty sure this one has what's called flexible filament. In other words, instead of being a hard plastic type object, it's flexible. It can be kind of squished and whatnot. So that gives you a lot of more kinds of things you can make with it. We did a robot project once where we made the robot parts with 3D printing and then had the onboard computer make them go. But we also have a laser. The laser is a cutter engraver, and what it's doing right now is engraving an image on a wine bottle. But we can, it will use all different kinds of materials. You can do glass, ceramic, wood, leather, cardboard, cork, almost anything but metal. It's really, we've made awards with this. You know, the kinds of things you see with glass where the engraving is kind of in the glass. You can do that kind of thing. You can cut with it, moderate wood, cardboard, and that sort of thing, so that we can use this to make parts for other kinds of things we do. It's another neat resource. And again, kids can design things to do on the laser. It can do either flat surfaces like a ceramic tile or a wine bottle, where you have to be a little bit more clever with the math because you're now on a curved surface and the bottle itself has to turn and the angles are different. So it takes a little work to figure out how to do curved surfaces. And the last major piece of equipment we have in our Makerspace is a 3D router. And that's this guy right here. And it's essentially a CNC machine, computer numerically controlled machine. And it can route plexiglass, wood. This is an example of what you can do with that. So we could really make a lot of stuff. We have another facility in our area here that's a completely different animal. So that's just around the corner.
Gail, if you can hear me, I have a question about who uses the CNC router. Like, does anybody do you do like do you have some sort of shop certification, or can I just come in if I'm a citizen of Willcox or a student who's coming in with a project? How does that work?
You can certainly come in and design things. Yeah, it can only be used with the qualified individuals that we have there. They help them set it up. And when it's in operation, it is a closed system behind doors, glass doors, and so on, so that no one can get at it while it's in operation. It is computer controlled. So you put your workpiece in there, you put the program into the system, you close it up and you push the button. If it's open, it won't operate.
Right. That's great. I was just wondering if you had any sort of like, you have to be certified in order to come in and use your Makerspace.
No. This is for, yeah, it's for the public.
That's great. Thank you. Who knew that Willcox had the CNC router? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a real big one, but it still is one.
It still is
This
one.
is-
That's all you need.
This is the other facility we have. This is our recording studio. Much of this was put together with volunteer help. A lot of that has helped us create this space. But we can do podcasts here. We can set it up with lighting. We have a camera system. We have a sound system. We have been working with the Historical Society here to do video oral histories, biographical histories. This is an area of tech that you might want to be a podcaster, but you have to know a lot of tech to be a successful podcaster. When you do video, it's even more tricky because we usually, like when we do those biographical videos, we'll use 2 cameras and 3 audio sources, at least 3. So when you're editing this, which of course is the final stage, you have to, if you want to go from one video to another or one audio track to another, you have to make sure that they match up. So the very old school way that you do that is with a clapboard. I'm sure you've seen these in the movies, and they literally are a clapboard, because when you make that sound, all your instruments pick it up, and when you're editing, you can align everything to that point and not have people's lips talking and the words are a half second behind. So there's old tech and new tech. We have it set up with sound acoustic panels on the walls. We have background, we have lighting systems. We have a green screen that's behind Ren a little bit here, so we can have people on different backgrounds. And this is another facility that is open to the public. We generally have to help them with the technology, but a theater is a very technological place. A movie theater is totally digital. Live theater, the sound, the lighting is a very highly technical business. So it's not quite as weird as it seems to have tech and theater going together.
Gail, would you
yeah.
share a little bit? Would you share a little bit of your background? Because it's really interesting. I think people would be interested to know how you got to Willcox.
I don't know where to start. I have a degree in engineering. I have a PhD in engineering. It's what I did for much of my career. I taught at Ohio State University in the systems engineering department. I also worked in industry doing a lot of manufacturing systems work. Actually, my husband and I retired here to Willcox. It's a wonderful community. And we got involved with the theater when about 10 years ago, when the theater business, the entire studio business, the movie business was changing from analog to digital. And our little movie theater in this town said, we can't afford to go digital, which is a great cue to go over to the theater. So we did form a nonprofit. This is a nonprofit, and the building itself was in not the best condition, and it was running 35 millimeter film. So the studios were discontinuing 35 millimeter film. We originally ran it for about 6 months using 35mm film. And then with the support of the community, we're able to get digital equipment in there. And here comes a train. We get used to this in Willcox. When the train comes, everybody gets quiet.
Great scenic shot there. Thank you.
This is kind of the entrance to the theater. As I said, it was originally built in 1937. Which was kind of the height of the Art Deco period. This is built in the style of what they call Southwestern Art Deco. And when we remodeled it inside, we gave it that same look. This is the concession area. Right. And over here, as we came in, Glenn can turn. This is one of the 35mm projectors that we were originally running when we first took it over. And I will tell you that digital is wonderful compared to 35mm. It's a mechanical system. It has all of the drawbacks of a mechanical system. And it can literally jump a cog, jump a frame, and very bad things happen. Digital is wonderful. But let me just show you briefly one of our auditoriums, because we think this is the best place in Arizona to come see a movie.
You know, Gail, I think that after what you should do when you come to see a movie is show them how it used to work, and then express how excited we are to have the digital. Look at that theater. It's small and yet very quaint, and yeah, that looks like a great place to have a party.
It is. And at the same time, our digital equipment, we are required to meet the studio technical requirements for both audio and visual. We had our technician in today. They come in once a quarter to calibrate both the video and the audio to make sure it meets standards. So you cannot get a better technical experience than you can here, and it's a much more intimate, wonderful place. I'll tell you one thing we calculated once with 35mm film. You know how big a 35mm like slide is? A 2-hour film requires about 2 miles of 35mm film. So when you get a movie on film, you get about 75 pounds of film on 4 or 5 reels that have to be spliced together. When you get a digital movie, it comes on hard drive. It's a physical hard drive. It's about 6 inches square and it weighs 1.5 pounds. We like digital.
Hey, Gail, before you leave the theater, can you tell us about Science on the Screen?
I'm sorry, about what?
Science on the Screen?
Oh, yes, absolutely. This is a program that is funded by the Coolidge Theater, in which movies that have some science issue associated with them are paired with a science speaker to talk about the validity or otherwise of the science on screen. And literally, these movies can be anything. They can be science fiction, they can be sociological, the science can be anywhere. We had one last year that was about, what was the one that Mary DeGrazia was here for? Code breakers, the World War II code breakers, and she's an expert in cybersecurity. So that was one kind of thing. Our upcoming movie, we have one this Friday, is called Monolith Monsters, one of the great 1950s B movies in which the world is under attack by giant rocks that came down with a meteor. So it's a movie about homicidal rocks. And then we have a speaker who's going to talk about meteors and what is the actual danger and frequency of meteors and all those kinds of things. So it's a really fun program.
And I love that those are supporting the local science clubs, right?
Yes, they are. As a matter of fact, we have our local science teacher here, Ty White, who keeps giving me hints about what I should be saying. He's the one that should really be doing this.
I apologize. I got to watch one of your other events when you got to go see Freddie Lajvardi's lab, and he was one of our guest speakers, actually. We showed the spare parts here as a part of the Science on Screen, and he came down and talked to us about what was real in the movie, what wasn't, and shared some more insights. But he was just fantastic. Like I had a chance to geek out when I met him. It was pretty neat.
The other thing
those of you who don't know that guy there who's whispering in the background and giving hints, that is Ty White, the 2023 Arizona Teacher of the Year. So yay, thanks for being
Don't
there.
mind me bumping. I'm also going to add, I'm currently the National Rural Teacher of the Year as well.
Oh yeah, and that too. I forgot about that.
I got to represent for all my agencies, right?
Yes, you do. Thank you.
one last point on the Science on Screen, the proceeds, we do charge admission for it. The proceeds for that go to some movies go to the high school science club, some go to the middle school STEM club. So we work closely with the science teachers at the school. So that's kind of our theater.
So Gail, you were talking about, this is kind of the past and the present. How about the present and the future of Willcox?
What we are planning and working towards, and we recently received a major grant from the U.S. Department of Commerce, is to make some additions, to make a large addition, really build a whole additional building on the back of our historic structures that will allow us to have better facilities, larger facilities for our STEAM lab, for our recording studio, and for all of our art programs, because we do a lot of art programs too. We have, on Fridays, we have kids' art programs broken up by elementary, middle, and high school. We have programs for adults. We have programs for senior citizens. We don't have a very good space to do them in. So that will allow us to do. Yes, Ty.
I don't want to stop where you're at. Before you left the theater, I wanted to share, because I know some of your viewers are from Phoenix,
Yeah.
and we've had a number of CSO meetings down here. Like, we've used the space for cabinet meetings, but then we've also taken them on the tour, like you were talking about, all the technical aspects of the movie production. And it's been great because they get to hear about what those different jobs look like, all the networking and IT that goes along with producing movies. It's not just the stars and the videographers, right? And so I find those local places that want to work with you, because the theater has been a fantastic partner in terms of showing kids about jobs and the other business affiliated.
Yes, as a matter of fact, our STEAM program has, for the last 3 years, had a high school student that we hire and pay that helps to keep things in order and assist kids with programs and things like that. So yeah, we love to do that and give people the opportunity to try things. This is the palace. We're going to go through here. There is a jam session in place. They are doing their thing. We're going to go past them and into the other part where we'll look at the VR. Okay, this is actually our live performance theater area. We can do movies and PowerPoints and that sort of thing in here as well. And this is Ray Martinez. Hi, Ray. Who has a VR headset on. And, oh, okay. What? We have partnered with the Cochise College virtual reality program, and we have created a number of programs. I think what Ray is going to demonstrate is a painting program.
For Willcox Theater.
Okay, this is kind of like the Krita was, only now it's in 3D. So you can paint. What we have done with it is, with VR, is a couple of other things as well. One of them is to create programs that recreate buildings from 1880s Willcox. Let me just stop a second here. If you're not familiar with virtual reality, Ray has a headset on that allows him to look in any direction, 360 degrees, up, down, front, back, whatever. He has two controllers that allow him to, in this case, select colors and styles of lines and whatnot and create stuff. If you think of VR as only games, it's a whole lot more than games. In our recreation of buildings in 1880s Willcox, the Cochise College folks did a saloon in which you could pick up objects like a pair of dice and roll them. You could pick up a box of matches and light a gas lamp on the wall so you could interact with it. We also have a program that does the original depot, 1880s depot. So you could go into that in 1880s and see everything from the telegraph keys to the tickets to the freight that came in on the train. We also, because we are very grounded here in our heritage, which is the ranching community, we have real virtual reality in which we have 360 degree real cameras. We go out to a ranch and we put you in the corral when there's a roundup going on and the cattle are being brought in and so forth. So it allows people through virtual reality to experience things that they would not otherwise be able to experience. We gave a 360 camera to a cowboy who went out into the backcountry on his horse, and you are on that horse with, well, instead of him, you are on his horse riding around, and you can look, you can see the dogs run along with you, you can see the cattle in the distance, you can look behind you and see everything. So VR is a wonderful technique for learning experiences, but it also involves a lot of technology in creating the experiences. There's programming, there's art involved, there's the physics of making it so when you throw those dice in the saloon, they act like dice. When you drop the match, it drops like a match and not like a ton of bricks. So it's a wonderful technology that takes a lot of different skills and has a lot of opportunity, not just as a VR game.
And are you, Gail, are you going to provide an opportunity for folks to learn how to do this, not just play with it? How to do this VR?
We're working with the Cochise County gosh, I don't know what the right words are, the technology district, the program that allows schools to have like woodshop classes and things like that to offer programming and virtual reality programming. We think it could be a 4-year kind of program through the schools, and then we can serve as a place where students can come and do real projects. So yes, we're working on that with the superintendent of the Cochise County, whatever it's called, technology district.
The CTE probably, right?
Yes, thank you.
Right. Are there any other programming offerings like this that you're doing just for the public? Like they can come in and learn how to do something?
What we've done mostly for the public has been more hardware oriented than programming, how to spec a computer, build a computer, things of that nature. We've done smartphone usage and how to make use of all the technology that's actually available on your smartphone. Most of the programming that we've done has been associated with the single board computers, and that's been with Python, which is actually probably the language we would start with CTE programs as well. Just because it's a fairly straightforward way to get started with programming, and then find out if you enjoy it and go on further from there. The CPX, by the way, can be used for a lot of different things, not just making little robots and whatnot. You can use it to make sensors for agricultural use. I know a guy who used it in conjunction with a sensor to tell him if there was carbon monoxide in his garage. So, you know, the pieces of the technology are there. It's just a matter of what would you like to use it for? We can help you find those pieces and put them together.
So what's up for the next, 6 or 8 months? Anything?
Well, we are planning our summer programs for the coming summer and really are looking to expand those. We have 4 Science on Screen programs coming up between now and May, I believe it is. We have a STEAM project coming up Friday, I think it is. That's actually going to be associated with the Mission to Mars program that the Franklin Institute and the Arizona Science Center are funding. We're an affiliate, I guess is the way to say it, of that program. So we've got a number of things on tap that'll continue to be coming along. And then once we get our new construction done, we'll be able to have a larger and more functional recording studio and more equipment for students and the public to use.
Yeah, if anybody wants to take a weekend and go down to Willcox, I would definitely suggest it's a very cool little town, and Gail's buildings are just really interesting to go into. So does anybody have any questions?
Here's our completed Eiffel Tower.
Right.
Yes, I would add, for those of you who are interested, Willcox has great hiking nearby in the Chiricahua National Monument. Within walking distance of the theater are 1, 2, 3, 4 wine tasting rooms. It's a great place to visit. If you want to wait till summertime, there's Apple Annie's sweet corn, which is the greatest. So yeah, I encourage you to think of Willcox as a weekend trip to enjoy, and let us know you're coming, and we'll kind of talk to you about how we've been able to build this over time and how you can help encourage the same kind of out of school facility where you are. You have anything you want to add, Ty?
I mean, I would just start by saying, like, this is one of my favorite places in the world. I bring kids down here to engage on the weekends. I bring my daughter and she has a chance to play. She showed a list of boxes along the side of the wall. It's a buffet to go through and pick out pieces and parts to build gadgets with and just teach kids to be hands-on creative. This really, to me, is a replicable model. You know, there's so many ways for kids to engage down here, and it came from Gail's work. It came from her and Ron's efforts to put these things together. But I know there are facilities like this in Phoenix. I suggest teachers find ways to find them, because this creates so much outside of the classroom opportunity for my kids to get creative and go bigger with. It's the kind of thing that I think becomes a perfect model for other rural communities to look at, consider. You know, I didn't invite anyone watching. I don't know if we've got Valley Union, if we've got other communities that don't know this is available, to come join us, because all of the programming is free or nearly free for kids to get involved. And so I really can't promote this enough. It's a great opportunity. I've said it a dozen times already, but it's because I mean it. And I've seen it benefit so many kids.
Thank you, Ty. And it really is there's not a competition. The school, Ty, and we have the same aim in what we're doing here, which is to not just introduce, here you can make a nice gadget, but you can do it. You can figure it out. You can read the instructions. You can try it this way when it didn't work that way. And you can, we try and address individuals as individuals. As people come through here and get more experience with it, older kids help younger kids with how to do something. And that's a really cool thing to watch too. So, and this is true, especially in rural areas. We are not very segregated by age groups, or are you a sophomore or a freshman or a junior? We have, like I say, it'll be from 10 to 18. So, and sometimes it's the 10-year-old who's helping the 18-year-old, but oftentimes it's the other direction, encouraging and helping things to come about. So it's fun to be a part of. It's fun to have this facility here and watch the kids come in and enjoy it.
And Gail, this is Danelle Hogan from Amazing Systems Thinking, and I just want to say how excited we are to have our teachers come down and enjoy your space in February.
Yes, you're going to be doing a training down here, right?
Yeah. So we're super excited also to show off what's going on there, because it's amazing how great things can be happening and people still don't know how to use it or that they can access it. So we're excited to show off what you're doing for sure.
Cool, thank you.
And Gail, this is Corey Raza over at GCU, and we're so excited to work with you and your team with the new virtual reality to kind of, continue to work. And as you were just talking about the mentorship, what I think is so cool is that we're including college students, not just from Cochise County Community College, but also from other universities like our own, to get down there and check out Willcox, because many of our students don't come from Arizona. And so they're in for a treat, and they're very excited to be able to work with y'all. So I'm going to show them this recording so that they get a sneak peek of what that cool theater looks like and start to dream about what they can help with as well.
All right, well, just show them a small part of it so they want to come down here and see the rest.
Oh, darn right. Absolutely. Are you kidding? You had us with, we can watch a movie and then go have a glass of wine. Now, granted, maybe not all of those college students are 21 yet, but I think these adults on this call might be interested in that kind of sales pitch.
Yeah, and Corey, it's a great point. I talked about Cochise College, but yes, we are now starting a partnership with you guys at Grand Canyon, and we're really looking that's going to take us to a whole new level. in what we're able to do in virtual reality. And our goal is to create one full block of Railroad Avenue in the 1880s. You know, Willcox is, if you couldn't handle it in Willcox because Willcox was too tough, then you went to Tombstone. Willcox was the tough town.
Well, speak of the devil, it looks like Professor Isaac Artsy just jumped on the call. So we are excited to see what kind of troublemakers we can bring to Willcox in the 21st century. Let's just put it that way.
Okay, well, you'll meet up with the troublemakers already here.
We just need a leader, Gail. I think that might be you, unless it's the guy sitting in the theater right behind you, in the seat behind you. He looks like a troublemaker to me. I don't know what to say.
That probably is.
Yeah.
Anything else any questions, any comments, any thoughts?
I just have a question. So I've been putting links in the chat for people to be able to also get later. Can you just summarize if teachers want to come down or bring their students, even from the big city up here, how do they do that?
I think the basic thing that would be to just contact us initially and give us an idea when you want to be here, and we can go from there, have a conversation about what it is that you're most interested in seeing, what ages, what kinds of things they're interested in, and then build something that is suited for that particular situation.
So it sounds fairly informal and highly customizable.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Thank you.
Looks like Ty's got it.
The customizable is a good way to describe that. They've got a number of programs, for example, when they've taken art projects out to the elementary, or they've taken other hands-on science projects. Last year at one of the Makerspaces, Smart Makers, I apologize, we built a telegraph machine actually with 3D printed parts and took it out to some of the local elementary schools to kind of show the kids what was available and what they could come get involved with. They absolutely work with schools and teachers, whether it's local or if you're going to bring them from Phoenix, to customize what it is you want to do.
You could telegraph a 3D printed object by telegraphing the STL file, and it's like teleporting.
It would take a while, yes.
I also put in the chat, in case we have people watching, if they want to support the Willcox Theater. I noticed you have a support us link on your website, that you are a 501(c), correct? 501c3?
That is correct.
So we can donate tax deductible to
Correct. Yep.
your place. Thank you.
Yes.
Oh.
Thank you for mentioning that.
I apologize for joining late. I just finished class 5 minutes ago. So I don't know if we discussed anything about the VR class coming over and taking pictures, seeing the railroad station, or that's a separate discussion?
We did not discuss that. This was kind of a general tour, but
Okay.
that is definitely something we should talk about offline.
Okay.
I'll get that scheduled right away. Dr. Artsy, this was just a showcase of Willcox and their amazing STEM, I would say, Danelle, systems thinking right there in the center of Willcox. So we're just excited to showcase it and make sure our teachers know about it, and it's just gonna get better and better.
And you really do have to go down there and see it all. I mean, Gail is so knowledgeable about the town and the history and all of the spaces that they have. And it's great to see it online, but it is another thing to experience it firsthand, as you can imagine.
Yeah, and truly, I sound like the Chamber of Commerce, but Willcox is a unique place. The people here are friendly, great Mexican food, great barbecue, good hiking, and we'd love to not so much show you, but work with you and kind of give you a feel for what this kind of program can do for kids.
And
One
Gail,
thing I'd
can you
like to-
talk a little bit about the artist community in Willcox? Because you have a very eclectic artist community as well.
Yes, we do. We actually, one of the other things we do is publish a magazine that highlights the creative people in this area. And there's everything from what you would consider kind of standard artists in oils and acrylics and pastels and things like that. There are craftspeople who do amazing things with wood and leather. And the thing that's, many of you have probably heard of Bisbee and the artist community down there, and they have great stuff. But Willcox artists and artisans are rooted in the heritage of this area. So they are people who might be fourth or fifth generation from a ranching family or something like that. And so the art here is part of the community. It's not just something that you're going to do dragons or something. It's something that means something to the community. But there are very talented people in this area. There's a very vigorous art league that is active here, and Willcox as a city has just formed an official arts commission to help promote arts and art activities in the community. So, it's a little bitty place, just like Willcox Theater and Arts. We do a little bit of everything. In an urban area, you can specialize. You can have, in the arts world, you can have a dance company, you can have a theater company, you can have an orchestra. We can't do that here. So we do jam sessions, we do art workshops, we do STEM, we do movies. So it's something, it's an hour and a quarter at best to get to Tucson to see live performers, to have the opportunity for young people to see and hear quality live performers. We bring in people who've played at Lincoln Center. These are high caliber artists. There was a quote that I've always remembered from C.S. Lewis, who wrote Chronicles of Narnia. And he said, when he was a boy growing up in East Belfast, that he never saw a beautiful building. He said, I didn't even know a building could be beautiful until he went to Italy. We think that kids should see beauty. And so when we remodeled the theater, we made it beautiful instead of just function. So whether it's beauty or opportunity, we want that for every kid that's here and not have to go to Tucson. And they can't get to Tucson. It's an hour and a half away. So anyway, that's my commercial.
So one of the other things that I wanted to point out, and I hope, Gail, you can talk about this too, is collaboration. So collaboration with other grassroots organizations and movements, and really how any of the teachers that are around, if you have a passion, there are others that are out there and you can leverage that. So how are you leveraging the different collaborations?
Yeah, and kind of a thought to add to that, Cal, we aren't inventing things here. We are borrowing other people's ideas and getting out and talking to people about different things makes little lights go on, say, hey, we could do that, or that's not quite what we need here, but if we take that and adapt it this way, it's a great fit. So getting out, and this program that Grand Canyon has to let us all see what is going on elsewhere is that same opportunity to hear new ideas and incorporate them and adapt them in what you're doing.
Well, I think that's a great way to kind of end our tour. Gail, thank you so much for your time and sharing this secret that is no longer a secret down in Southern Arizona. And Ren, thank you for your camera work. And Ty, thank you for your sideline commentary. We appreciate your insight as well.
Oh, yeah, for butting in so much. Just so excited about this place.
I love it.
Thanks for the opportunity. We really appreciate that.
Good. Well, we hope now after people see this that you're too busy. We keep you too busy, right?
Be careful what I ask for.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. We appreciate you being here. We will be posting this video and the chat transcript because a lot of links and information went up in the chat on our CanyonPD website, and we will distribute that to everyone as well. So please share that. We'll also share in the Facebook group. So, let people know about this gem.